guys, it's Amy from Amy's Art Table. Today I'm going to show you 3 simple ways to make some feathers. So go ahead and grab yourself a cup of coffee and some supplies and let's get started. Alright guys, we're going to start with some blank paper and I'm just going to show you some real simple ways to make feathers today. Okay, so normally I don't sketch in pencil prior to doing watercolor, I just freehand it, but since I'm showing you the shapes, I'm going to help you get this sketched out first, okay? So we're gonna do 3 simple feathers. One will be a little larger, so I'm gonna make a little larger oval shape with a stem. And then we'll do a smaller one. And then we'll do a wider one. See if I can even fit this guy on the page here. Okay. So you might see me go out of the lines and you might see me, my feathers take a different shape, but this is just to help you as a guide, okay? So for the first feather, I'm going to start with some wet on wet. So I'm going to grab a brush and just paint this oval shape with water. Okay. This is going to be a fun one. We are going to add a few different colors and we are going to let them blend together and then come back and add some detail later. All right. So I'm going to start with some dark blue. Feathers are really fun. All right, so I'm going to add dark blue towards the top here. I'm just sort of let it blend into that wet paper. I do a fun color scheme here. Go ahead and bring some blue down here. I'm going to rinse out this brush. I'm going to do the same thing towards the bottom with a bright orangish reddish color. Again, you can pick your own color schemes here. Ooh, look how that's bleeding. I like that. Okay. I'm going to do the other side. We'll come back and add some detail later. Right. And then the last color that we're going to add is going to be some bright yellow. Okay. Make sure that that brush is thoroughly rinsed out before you dip it in yellow. Okay, so I'm going to come in and just start dropping this yellow. On both sides. You can blend with the colors that are already there. All right, that's cool. So let this guy dry and then we'll come back and add some detail. And move on to the center feather, which is going to be a rust color. This time I'm not going to paint it with water first. I'm just going to add the pigment off of my brush. Okay, this feather is going to be a lot more together. It's not going to have this separated shapes of this feather and this feather. So I'm going to add a lot of this rust color all the way down. Sort of create this nice shape, round it off a little bit at the top here. Going to leave some blank space in the center for the stem. This is just going to be 3 feathers quick. Anyone can do this. You do not have to be a professional artist. I don't even consider myself a professional artist. Okay. Adding that rust color. Now I'm going to come back with a dark brown. I'm just going to start dropping in some dark brown stripes. Just going to break this guy up a bit. All right, that's fun. They don't have to be symmetrical. I feel like nothing in nature is completely perfect. Some nice color variation there. I'm gonna let this guy dry. I might grab a smaller brush and just pull this rust color in towards the center a little more. I left a little too much blank space there. All right, so now let that guy dry. Now I'm going to move on to a peacock shaped, eye-shaped feather. Of course, this is not what a peacock feather really looks like, but you can just use your own color schemes just for fun. So I will go ahead and sketch a circle, and inside that another circle, and they don't really have to be circles, they can be misshaped circles. Again, you're not going to find necessarily a perfect circle in nature. Okay, so I'm going to grab a smaller brush and a teal color. I'm going to paint the center. And then I'm going to paint around the sky. Slightly misshaped. Okay. And then now around that, I'm going to start adding some just water. I'm not going to touch the teal because it will start bleeding quite a lot. And we can have this guy go down a little further. Right? Okay, so now that I have water on that, I'm going to go ahead and start dropping in some new colors. I'm going to use a periwinkle color. Just going to start fanning it outward. Give this feather a nice shape. So with the first color, I'm just trying to define the shape that I want to use. All right, I like that. Go back with a little bit bigger brush and add some fuchsia to it. So this time I'm going to add a lot of color. That same shape can start to come up to the teal now. Some more water. All right, I like that. So now I'm going to come over with some dark purple. You could, let's see, could add a nice little purple detail if you wanted a pattern. But really all we need to do is fill this in here. Sometimes I just like to play around a little bit, see what the color does. Okay, like that. So this guy needs to dry a bit, and so do these. All right, guys, I'm back. We're gonna add some detail to these feathers. Now that they're a little bit drier, I'm gonna grab a tiny brush, and I'm going to start with some dark blue. I'm just going to add some spots to this feather. Just sort of break it up a little, get it look a little more natural, a little more interesting. Some spots can be bigger than others, of course. You choose your own pattern here. This is just fun. Okay. We could keep all the spots on one side of the stem, or we can add a few on this side too. All right, so I like that. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna highlight with some of the colors we've already used. I'm going to drop in a little more blue here to one side of the feather. This is optional, of course. It's just trying to give your feather a little more detail. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the orangey red that we used before. Just give this feather a little color variation. Go ahead and let that dry. Now, on this middle guy, still a little wet. I've made a little mess here, but that's okay. On this middle guy, I'm going to drop in some white detail, okay? So I'm gonna get a lot of pigment on my brush so that it is able to cover over this very dark color here. Okay, so add some nice little dotted detail here. All right. So those details are done. Let me just wash this with some water and try to remove a little bit of the mess that I've made here. Okay. Grab a cloth. Okay, remove a little bit of that, okay? With some dark purple. So mine's still a little wet. I'm going to start adding detail towards the edges with this pretty purple color. going to start adding a purple stem. Just placing a shape there. Great. So that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go back to these guys and start adding some stems as well. For now, for this one, we'll just add a little brown detail. Add a little gray here. Okay. All right, so let that dry for a few more minutes. And we'll come back and finish these guys up. Now that this has had a chance to dry, I'm going to come back in with a detail brush and some white paint. And I'm just, oop, a drop there. Just going to add a stem. Which will be a nice little broken line. The center of my feather. All the way down. Need a lot of white on the brush to do this. Sometimes I do these details with acrylic. It's just a bit thicker, covers better. Right, so something like this. All right. So this guy is done. And I like the way it blended out. Looks pretty good. Add just a bit of white on this guy. All right. And then the same to the purple feather. I hope you guys had fun painting today. These can be done with many different colors and many different ways. So that's why I love feathers so much. I hope if you enjoyed my video, you'll subscribe. Give this video a big thumbs up. And I'll see you next time.